Every single day, you wake up with a choice to stay the same or to push yourself into the fire of growth. Most people choose comfort, the soft bed, the easy road, the path that doesn't demand too much. Commitment beyond comfort means making a choice that very few people ever dare to make. The choice to keep going when every part of you is screaming to stop. It means refusing to settle for what's easy, refusing to live in the shallow waters of safety, and choosing instead to dive into the deep end of struggle, pain, and growth. Anyone can stay committed when the road is smooth, when motivation is high, and when results come quickly. But true commitment begins the moment comfort ends. It's easy to show up when you feel good. It's powerful to show up when you don't. That's what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Comfort convinces you that you've done enough, that you deserve to rest, that you've earned the right to slow down. But greatness demands more. It demands that you keep moving forward even when it feels unbearable. When you commit beyond comfort, you stop asking for guarantees. You stop chasing validation and start building discipline. You understand that success isn't about feeling ready, it's about acting despite doubt. Every person who has ever achieved something extraordinary has walked through pain, failure, and rejection. They didn't do it because it was fun or easy. They did it because they refused to let their comfort zone define their limits. Every step beyond comfort expands your capacity. It builds mental toughness, resilience, and character. The kind that can't be faked or borrowed. When you willingly step into the discomfort of hard work, you are teaching yourself how to endure, how to focus, and how to outlast. You begin to realize that growth doesn't happen when you're safe. It happens when you're tested. The moment you start to feel pain or fatigue, your mind will tell you to quit. It will whisper 1,000 excuses. That you've done enough, that it's not worth it. That maybe it's just not meant to be. That voice is the comfort zone calling you back, trying to protect you from discomfort. But the truth is, if you listen to that voice, you'll spend your whole life wondering what could have been. The real strength comes from ignoring that inner weakness and pushing forward anyway. Because when you go beyond comfort, you stop being controlled by temporary emotions. You start being guided by purpose. Purpose gives pain meaning. It transforms suffering into progress and struggle into self-mastery. The more you lean into discomfort, the more you realize that it's not your enemy, it's your ally. It's the proof that you're growing, evolving, and becoming someone new. Comfort will always be there, waiting to pull you back into the ordinary. It will try to convince you that comfort is happiness, but it's not. Comfort is the slow death of ambition. It's the silent killer of dreams. People who stay comfortable never experience what it means to reach their potential because they never give themselves the chance to find out how far they can go. Commitment beyond comfort means burning the bridge to your excuses. It means showing up even when no one's watching, even when there's no applause, even when you're not sure if it's working. It means trusting that consistency in the dark will eventually lead to light. Every time you push past comfort, you're making a statement that your goals mean more to you than your feelings, that your purpose matters more than your pain, and that you refuse to settle for average when greatness is still on the table. In the end, commitment beyond comfort is not about chasing perfection. It's about staying faithful to the process, no matter how uncomfortable it becomes. It's the relentless pursuit of better, the daily decision to fight through exhaustion, to rise after failure, to keep going when others stop, because only those who push beyond comfort ever find out how powerful they truly are. Pain is the gateway to power because it strips away everything that is weak, false, and temporary within you. It reveals the truth about who you are and what you're made of. Most people run from pain because they believe it's something to be avoided, something negative that should never be felt. But pain is not the enemy, it's the teacher. It's the process that transforms you from fragile to unbreakable, from average to exceptional. Every time you feel pain and choose to endure it rather than escape it, you are building strength that cannot be taken away. Pain forces growth. It burns away comfort, ego, and illusion until only what's real remains. The path to power is paved with discomfort, And those who avoid it will never know their true potential. When you face pain, you are standing at the edge of your limits. It's in that space between what you think you can handle and what you actually can that transformation begins. Pain exposes the lies you tell yourself, that you're not strong enough, that it's too hard, that you should stop. It pushes you to confront your fears and insecurities, and it demands that you rise above them. The people who achieve greatness aren't immune to pain. They've simply learned how to use it. They understand that pain is proof of effort, proof of progress, proof that they're moving forward. Without pain, there is no power, no depth, no growth. Power is forged in struggle, in the early mornings when no one's watching, in the failures that break your pride. In the moments when giving up seems like the only option, but you keep going anyway. Pain has a way of humbling you. It takes away all pretenses and excuses. When you're in pain, you can't fake effort. You can't hide behind words or intentions. Pain reveals character. It shows whether you're willing to pay the price for the life you say you want. The truth is, everyone wants success, strength, and greatness, but very few are willing to suffer for it. The ones who embrace pain instead of avoiding it, discover that it becomes their greatest source of energy. When you go through something hard and come out stronger, you don't just gain confidence, you gain power. The kind that comes from knowing that no matter what happens, you can endure. That kind of power can't be bought, taught, or inherited. It's earned through pain. Pain also sharpens your focus. It forces you to pay attention, to live in the present moment, and to stop drifting. When everything hurts, you have no room for distractions, only determination. In that space, you discover clarity. You begin to see what really matters and what doesn't. You stop caring about opinions, comfort, and easy paths. Pain pulls you into alignment with your purpose because it demands commitment. It demands that you make a choice. Suffer now for growth or suffer later from regret. That's the real meaning of pain. It's a crossroads. Either you use it to rise or you let it crush you. The difference between the two is your mindset. The truth is, pain never leaves you weaker if you face it. It leaves you wiser, tougher, and more aware of your strength. It teaches discipline, patience, and endurance. Every struggle becomes a step toward mastery. Every wound becomes a lesson. Every scar becomes a reminder that you are capable of surviving what once felt impossible. Power isn't found in avoiding pain, but in embracing it until it shapes you into something greater. Pain builds the foundation of strength, and strength builds power. When you stop running from it, when you start seeing pain as your training ground, instead of your punishment, you become unstoppable. Because the moment you accept that pain is not there to destroy you, but to develop you, you unlock the door to a version of yourself that nothing can break. Refusing to quit, no matter what, is the mindset that separates the few who rise from the many who settle. It's not about talent, luck, or opportunity. It's about the decision to keep going even when everything inside you says stop. The world respects results, but results only come to those who refuse to give up when the process gets painful. Everyone loves to start strong, full of excitement and ambition. But it's not how you start that defines you. It's how you endure when the journey becomes unbearable. Refusing to quit means standing your ground in the face of fear, fatigue, and failure. It's the inner voice that whispers, keep moving, when your mind screams for relief. It's not glamorous, it's not easy, but it's the essence of greatness. There will always be moments when quitting seems like the only option, when progress feels invisible, when effort goes unnoticed, when everything you've built starts to fall apart. Most people give in at that point because they mistake struggle for failure. But struggle is not failure. It's the sign that you're still in the fight. When you refuse to quit, you're not pretending it doesn't hurt. You're acknowledging the pain, but choosing to keep going anyway. That decision, that defiance against weakness, is what builds true power. Every step you take when you don't feel like it strengthens your mind, your character, and your resilience. Every time you refuse to give up, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than your circumstances. Life will test you. It will push you to your breaking point and beyond. It will throw obstacles in your way, challenge your patience, and make you question your purpose. The easy way out will always be there, whispering promises of comfort and safety. But the problem with quitting is that it doesn't end the pain. It just trades temporary relief for permanent regret. Quitting might stop the struggle, but it also stops the growth. When you walk away too soon, you never discover what you were truly capable of. The strength you're searching for is hidden behind the moments when you want to quit the most. If you can survive those moments, if you can hold the line when everything feels hopeless, you'll realize that your breaking point was actually your beginning. Refusing to quit doesn't mean you won't fall. It means you'll get back up every single time you do. It means that failure isn't the end of your story. It's part of the process. Every setback carries a lesson, every obstacle builds endurance, and every disappointment refines your determination. Winners don't avoid failure, they outlast it. They use it as fuel to push harder, go further, and become stronger. They understand that perseverance isn't just about holding on when things are good. It's about refusing to let go when things fall apart. The longer you stay in the fight, the more unstoppable you become, because most of the competition has already quit. Refusing to quit is an act of self-respect. It's the belief that your goals, your dreams, and your potential are worth the pain required to reach them. It's knowing that the journey won't be easy, but choosing to walk it anyway. It's waking up every day with the same fire, even when yesterday broke you down. It's trusting that every ounce of effort, every sleepless night, and every struggle is building something greater within you. Because one day, the pain will fade, but the pride of never giving up will remain forever. When you refuse to quit, no matter what, you become untouchable. You become the kind of person who can't be defeated, only delayed. And that's the kind of strength that turns ordinary people into legends. You said, "The mind is the ultimate weapon. Expend this keynote above 500 words without subheadings and without conclusion." ChatGPT said, "The mind is the ultimate weapon because it determines how far you can truly go." Everything begins and ends within your own thoughts. Your body can only push as far as your mind allows it to, and every limit you believe in is one that your mind created. The difference between those who stop and those who keep going isn't physical strength, it's mental strength. The body breaks, the muscles ache, the world resists, but a trained mind doesn't surrender. It finds a way to endure, to adapt, to rise beyond the impossible. The mind can either be your greatest ally or your deadliest enemy, and the choice between the two depends entirely on how you train it. Most people never realize the power their mind holds because they let it be controlled by emotions, fear, and doubt. They let their thoughts dictate their actions instead of using their actions to control their thoughts. When you master your mind, you gain control over every other part of your life. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start being a creator of outcomes. You begin to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to grow stronger. The mind can create pain where none exists, but it can also create strength where everyone else sees weakness. That's why those who achieve greatness don't rely on motivation. They rely on mental discipline. Motivation fades, but mental toughness endures. The mind is what pushes you when your body says you're done. It's what makes you take that extra step, lift that extra weight, or fight that extra round. When you train your mind to stay calm under pressure, to think clearly in chaos, and to stay committed when it hurts, you become unstoppable. The physical body is just a tool. The mind is the commander. It tells the body when to move, how long to endure, and when to rise again after failure. Most people lose the battle before it even begins because they've already convinced themselves they can't win. But the ones who win have already decided they will, long before they step into the fight. They've trained their minds to see through pain, to expect struggle, and to thrive within it. Mental strength is not something you're born with, it's something you build. Every time you face discomfort, every time you confront fear, every time you refuse to quit, you're training your mind to become stronger. The more you challenge it, the more it adapts. The more you expose it to hardship, the less it breaks under pressure. Your mind learns resilience through repetition, through failure, through the willingness to suffer for something meaningful. Every moment of struggle becomes a brick in the foundation of mental power. And once your mind becomes unshakable, the world loses its power to control you. An untrained mind looks for escape when things get hard. A trained mind looks for solutions. An untrained mind complains. A trained mind adapts. An untrained mind runs from pain. A trained mind uses it as fuel. That's the difference between people who give up halfway and those who keep pushing until they reach their goal. Your mind is the weapon that determines your destiny. Sharpen it every day. Read, challenge yourself, face discomfort, and silence the voices of doubt. Train your thoughts to serve your purpose, not sabotage it. The mind is limitless when it believes in its own strength. Once you break the illusion of limitation, you start to realize that most of what stops you isn't real. It's just fear wearing a different mask. But fear only lives in a mind that's undisciplined. The more you strengthen your mind, the smaller fear becomes, and the more powerful you grow. Physical strength fades with time, but mental strength compounds with every challenge you overcome. The mind can transform pain into power, failure into wisdom, and doubt into belief. When you master your mind, there is nothing left that can truly defeat you. Because the moment your mind decides you will win, you've already won. Die trying. The only way forward is not about recklessness or desperation. It's about giving everything you have to the pursuit of your potential. It's about living with such intensity and conviction that quitting is no longer an option. Most people say they want success, but few are truly willing to pay the price it demands. They talk about dreams, they fantasize about greatness, but the moment the struggle begins, they retreat back to comfort. The mindset of trying destroys that weakness. It means you are all in with no escape plan, no backup route, and no safety net. You commit so deeply that failure isn't even failure anymore. It's just another step toward becoming who you were meant to be. When you choose to die trying, you're choosing to live fully. You're choosing to give your life meaning through effort, discipline, and relentless pursuit. The trying mentality doesn't come from arrogance, it comes from purpose. It's the understanding that the only way to find out what's possible is to push yourself until there's nothing left. You stop asking, what if it doesn't work? And start asking, what if I don't give it everything? That shift changes everything. It's not about success at all costs. It's about refusing to live a life of regret. Because regret is the heaviest weight you'll ever carry. When you die trying, you free yourself from that burden. You stop being afraid of failure because you know you've already won by refusing to give up. You start to respect the struggle, to see pain not as a punishment, but as proof that you're alive and fighting for something that matters. Every great transformation begins with that level of commitment. You can't halfway chase your goals and expect to reach them. You can't give partial effort and expect complete results. Trying means showing up every single day, tired, uncertain, beaten down, and still giving what you have. It's not about being fearless. It's about moving forward even when you're terrified. It's about finding strength in exhaustion, direction in chaos, and purpose in pain. Most people will never experience the freedom that comes with total commitment because they're too busy protecting themselves from discomfort. But the truth is, the moment you stop trying to protect yourself is the moment you start to grow. You realize that pain, failure, and exhaustion don't break you. They build you. When you live with a trying mindset, you no longer need motivation. You operate on something deeper, on discipline, on grit, on vision. You stop chasing the easy route and start embracing the hard one because you know that's where greatness is found. Every time you fall, you get back up. Every time you fail, you learn. Every time you want to quit, you remind yourself that the pain you feel today is the foundation of the strength you'll need tomorrow. That's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Not talent, not luck, but the refusal to stop. You become unstoppable not because you're invincible, but because you've accepted that nothing will make you quit. To die trying is to live without hesitation. It's to give everything to your purpose and trust that the process will shape you into something stronger. It's not about chasing perfection, but about chasing potential. It's about giving yourself permission to fail again and again, because you know that each failure brings you closer to mastery. The people who live with this mindset are rare because they don't measure progress by comfort. They measure it by how much they've endured. They understand that to live halfway is to never really live at all. So they go all in with heart, soul, and sacrifice, knowing that even if they fall short, they'll fall forward, stronger, wiser, and unbroken. In the end, detrying isn't about dying at all. It's about refusing to die without ever trying. It's about living in such a way that no part of you is left unused, no potential left untapped, no dream left unpursued. Because the only way forward is through total commitment, through the fire, through the pain. You give everything, not because it's guaranteed to work, but because it's the only way to honor the gift of being alive. When you live with that mindset, there's no such thing as failure. Only progress, only purpose, only forward. That's what it means to die trying. It's not the end, it's the only way to truly begin living.